I feel like anxiety has been such a part of my life, such a big part of my life for so many years of my life. And honestly, one of the strongest and the first strongest emotion that I've ever felt in my life was anxiety. And operating throughout life with anxiety is so hard, and I don't think a lot of people understand how hard it is to have social anxiety. And I think social anxiety is really just the fear that you're the center of attention or that everything you do will be noticed. And I know for me, like, my social anxiety stems from inherent shame that I have about myself. So like, because inherently I feel shameful about the things that make me me, whenever I go into society, I feel like other people are seeing those things and are judging me, or other people are seeing those things and they're frowning upon me. And it's so hard to step out and be spontaneous. It's so hard to take risks. It's so hard to be myself authentically and do the things that I want to do without fearing that like all eyes are on me. And it was kind of like a coincidence, or like kind of a weird thing that I stumbled across, but I stumbled across an opportunity to go to this live Christian concert for like the new year. So I don't know if this is going to be posted before or after the new year, but either or, I stumbled across this opportunity to be a part of this concert, this Christian concert, as we step into the new year. And I just thought to myself, like, what better way to step into the new year than to be in the presence of God? And the Bible talks about where 2 or 3 are gathered, there I am. And so this concert is supposed to hold like 15,000 people. So I was like, you know what, let me just go alone. Because for me, 2025, I really wanted to be a year of being spontaneous. I've been seeing so many videos of people like talking about utilizing their free will, and I feel like I don't do that enough. I live such a structured life. It's almost like I'm a robot, and I want to feel more human, and I want to be vulnerable like a human. I want to have human interactions more. And so for 2025, one of my biggest goals is to be more spontaneous. And because that's one of my biggest goals, I was like, what better way to do that than to, randomly sign up for this concert and just go by myself. Now, I've never been to a concert, and I've never been to a large gathering by myself. And so I just made that decision out of nowhere spontaneously, because that's what I'm trying to do. And as we step closer into the days coming in, I was registering for the concert. It's free. And then they popped up a question, and it said, do you want to be a volunteer? Now, I love volunteering. I've been volunteering ever since I was in the 4th grade. Like, I absolutely love service, social service. That's why I'm majoring in social work. I love serving others. And so then I also clicked to me, like, what better way to step into 2025 than serving God's people and making sure that everything runs smoothly. And so I signed up to be a volunteer, and I really wanted to be behind the scenes and just do my own thing. And they assigned me to the team of ushering, which means we have to greet people in, we have to help everybody find their seats, help anybody if they have emergencies, and that's just not really my thing. And I'm trying to grow out of this saying of that's not what I do, because every day and every year we're evolving into a new version of ourselves. At least that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so you're not going to look the same every year, and you shouldn't want to look the same every year. You should want to be better. You should want to grow. But a part of me still feels so much comfort in that old timid version of myself that always hides and that always lets anxiety take over. And so I was freaking out after I attended the online Zoom to prepare us for this volunteering, and just thinking about all these little things that were out of my control. And God just stopped me, and the Holy Spirit just asked me, what are you so afraid of? You don't have school right now. You don't have any other responsibilities. You're kind of sitting at home doing nothing. What are you so afraid of? And then I'm just I'm afraid that I'm going to mess up. I'm afraid that people are going to see me. I'm afraid that I'm not going to get this right. And he had to check me in that moment and let me know, do it anyways. Do it with the fear. Do it with the anxiety. Do it even though this thing feels like it's crippling you. And when we do it anyways, we show our fear that you no longer have a hold over me. When we do it anyways, we show our anxiety that I can be bigger than you. And once you prove to yourself that you can be bigger than your anxiety, it becomes a lot easier to stop allowing your anxiety to talk you out of things that you know you need to do in order to become a better version of yourself. It's the things that we're so scared of doing that we need to do. And the Holy Spirit was telling me, like, this is not even about you. And it was in the nicest way possible, but it was like, this is not about you. You're coming to this event to serve me and to serve my people and to walk into 2025 with gratitude. How has your anxiety managed to convince you that this is going to be about you? 15,000 people are coming to praise me, not you. 15,000 people are coming to honor me, not watch you. And it was such a humbling thing that he told me. And again, social anxiety makes us feel like we're in the middle of a circle and there's a million hands pointing and laughing at us. And that's just not the case. Like, nobody's paying attention to you as much as you are. And we hear it all the time, but it's the truth. Like, literally no one's watching you the way you're watching yourself. And so God had to check me in that moment and tell me, like, this is about me. And every time that we, allow these fears to become an idol and allow these emotions to become an idol, we make it about ourselves. And the minute we take our eyes off God, that's when the world can come in and cripple us. But when we switch our focus and look forward at God, nothing else in the background matters. And if you've ever done this exercise where you put your thumb right in front of both of your eyes and you blur out the background, that's like what it is when you look at God, despite everything, despite the chaos and everything that's happening in the background. And so stepping into the new year, whether you're hearing this in the new year or before the new year, we have to be willing to do those uncomfortable things. 2024 was full of so many uncomfortable things. Like, I have anxiety to the point where it cripples me down to my stomach. Like, I start completely losing it. But we have to show our anxiety and we have to show our fear that you can't do this anymore. You can't cripple me for another year. You can't stop me from meeting the people that I need to meet for another year. You can't stop me from having the opportunities and the blessings that God has for me for another year. You have to tell yourself, not another year, not another year, not another moment. Right? So I'm not saying that these feelings and these emotions don't exist. I'm not saying that even after you decide that you're not going to allow this to happen again, that it's not going to come back up at a random moment. I'm saying that when it does come back up, you remind yourself of where you're looking. And it's not at yourself, it's not at the world, but it's looking at God. And in that moment, when you look at Him, nothing else will matter. Hey guys, if you've been following up with me, you would know that I've been in a wilderness season and I've been documenting my season as well as how I overcame it and stepped into my Job blessing. I just came out with an ebook that God led me to create, detailing everything that I went through. Check it out in the link in my bio if you're interested. Love you all.